Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Shackle 5858. I am Amish Shackle. Following news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please, let's go to the headlines.
Welcome back, or welcome if you're just joining us. This is Daybreak here on France 24, our headlines this hour. Ukraine still reeling after Russia's latest large-scale attack that killed at least 3 people Friday night. Volodymyr Zelensky says he expects the U.S. to impose strong sanctions on Russia. He's due to meet Donald Trump next week on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Civilians in Gaza City continue to flee to the south as Israel pursues its takeover with what it says is unprecedented force. It comes as a handful of new countries are set to recognize a Palestinian state, the UK and Portugal making the formal announcement this Sunday. And the world officially has its first ever legal framework protecting our oceans. The High Seas Treaty was ratified Friday after Morocco became the 60th nation to sign on, paving the way for it to take effect next year. The Optus outage unlikely to have caused the death of an 8-week-old baby in South Australia. We're expecting to hear from the Optus CEO this hour as 2 investigations prepare to probe the telco over the 000 failure. Touchdown in the US, the Prime Minister arrives in New York ahead of the UN General Assembly.
It's an opportunity to advance Australia's economic, national security.
Cyber attacks on electronic and check-in baggage systems cause chaos at European airports.
Nestled off and the great Dane for the finishing touch.
And reigning premiers Brisbane dominate Collingwood to reach their 3rd straight AFL Grand Final. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Ruby Cornish. South Australian police say the death of an 8-week-old boy north of Adelaide is unlikely to have been caused by the Optus 000 outage. Police say their preliminary investigation found that while the boy's family was impacted, his death was not due to any delay in ambulances reaching the Gawler West home. We are standing by to take you live to Sydney, where the Optus CEO is set to address the media shortly. The phone carrier says it will appoint an independent party to lead an investigation into Thursday's network outage, which cut access to emergency calls. We're just setting up for that media conference now, and we'll bring it to you as soon as it begins. For more, though, in the meantime, let's hear from reporter Will Murray, who's been following the story.
This is DW News. These are our top stories. A cyber attack has caused chaos at some of Europe's busiest airports, including London's Heathrow, Brussels and Berlin. Hackers targeted check-in services and electronic baggage facilities. Only manual check-in and boarding procedures were possible at some airports. Analysts say the intrusion has exposed vulnerabilities in air transport security systems. Thousands of people have joined the families of hostages still being held by Hamas in rallies across Israel. They're calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to negotiate an end to the war. It's believed that around 20 of the 47 hostages are still alive. Here in Germany, the mayor of Munich has ceremonially tapped the first keg to open the world's biggest beer festival, the Oktoberfest. Over 7 million people are expected to attend the festival over the next few weeks, with visitors consuming many millions of liters of beer. This is DW News from Berlin. You'll find more on our website, dw.com.
news this hour. The Philippines bracing for massive protests today as anger mounts over corruption involving flood control projects. Police out in force as Manila takes action, suspending nearly 600 more bank accounts of individuals and corporations linked to the alleged graft.
A wide range of demands. One group in the capital city, Manila, asking all government officials to resign. Another group there asking for a committee in the House of Representatives that's allegedly involved in budget insertions to be abolished. But all in all, the common plea is for government officials to have a mandatory release of their statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth, and for those linked to this alleged corruption schemes to be held accountable.
The White House has clarified that the hike in H-1B visa fees will be a one-time payment for new applicants. This after India's foreign ministry and the country's leading trade body raised concerns about the $100,000 cost, saying it could disrupt families and create uncertainty for businesses and professionals. The US says an emerging deal with China over TikTok will ensure Americans control the board as well as the crucial algorithm of the video sharing app. This as the White House says current owner ByteDance will hold less than 20% of a joint venture for TikTok's US operations. And that's the latest from the CNN Newsroom.
This is Asia Now.
It's 12 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 9:30 in New Delhi, and 11 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Ilakia Silveraji at this hour. The Philippines bracing for massive protests today as anger mounts over corruption involving flood control projects. Authorities have suspended more than 800 bank accounts linked to the alleged graft so far. The White House has clarified that the hike in H-1B visa fees will be a one-time payment for new applicants. This after India's foreign ministry and the country's leading trade body raised concerns about the $100,000 cost, saying it could disrupt families and create uncertainty for businesses and professionals. The US says an emerging deal with China over TikTok will ensure Americans control the board as well as the crucial algorithm of the video sharing app. This as the White House says current owner ByteDance will hold less than 20% of the venture for TikTok's US operations. And efforts underway to restore check-in systems at key European airports after a cyber attack triggers travel chaos, including at London's Heathrow Airport.
Africa News. The news.
In Pretoria, pro-democracy protesters from Eswatini rally outside the US Embassy, slamming a reported deal that would return US-deported migrants to their homeland. They're demanding an end to absolute monarchy, accusing King Eswatini of accepting large sums of money in exchange for the deal.
Just the other day, stats came out to say Swaziland is the second highest in suicide rates in Africa. And I mean, those are social economic issues that are actually causing that. Because there's just so much poverty. Yet there's a man who's able to make a deal between himself and the US government to say he will take $500 million. And none of that is going to be received by the Swazi people. No way that the Swazi people are going to actually benefit from any of that. So that's why today we are standing here.
Protesters say the monarchy should be focused on improving the lives of ordinary citizens and demand accountability.
It's very unfortunate. We have a king that got 15 wives, and these wives of the king, they've never worked anyway. And these 2 billion that come with these criminals or these people from the United States is going to continue sustaining the monarch, not necessarily the people of Swaziland or even assisting the people of Swaziland to fight crime. So it is for that reason we came here and say, the United States and Swaziland must just take their people out of our country.
Comrades, ours is very people
Despite being a lower middle income country, 63% of the population in Eswatini live below the poverty line. A staggering 58% of young people are unemployed, one of the worst rates in the world. Never-ending queues and mounting frustration at airports across Europe after a major cyber attack hits check-in and boarding systems, crippling air traffic and causing widespread delays. Airports are urging travellers to check their flight status before heading out and apologising for the disruption caused by the unprecedented digital breach.
Ja, het gaat om cyberaanval bij een extern bedrijf.
It's a cyber attack on an external company that handles check-ins and boarding of passengers. The system can't be used now. We have to ingest data manually, and this takes a longer time for passengers, with delays and cancellation queues as a result.
Hier en dus helaas zorgt voor langere wachttijden, vertragingen en ook annuleringen.
The cyber attack targeting Collins Aerospace Systems is disrupting baggage services as well, crippling operations in Brussels, Berlin and London's Heathrow.
This is not common at all. Collins Aerospace, who have been affected by this cyber attack, is one of the biggest aviation and defence companies in the world, employing over 80,000 people. And it's deeply worrying that a company of that stature, who normally have such resilient systems in place, have been affected. This is a very clever cyber attack indeed, because it's affected a number of airlines and airports at the same time. Not just one airport or one airline, but they've got into the core system that enables airlines to effectively check in many of their passengers at different desks at different airports around Europe. This is highly significant.
From Japan to Germany, cyber attacks and tech outages have hit airports worldwide in the past, exposing the growing risks of a hyper-connected aviation industry. As air travel leans on digital systems, one failure can bring global skies to a halt.
News Weekend. Government cuts to funding for childhood brain cancer research leaves parents and patients in search of answers and losing hope. Then the impacts of reductions in diversity, equity, and inclusion programs on college campuses across the country. And how does your public garden grow? Michigan is with a lot of love and a nearly all-volunteer crew.
What consistently boggles my mind about this is just the incredible complexity of it. This palette changes every 10 days. It's just this constant series of moving parts.
The Prime Minister is set to recognise a Palestinian state.
Yes, the announcement is expected later today after the government
Can't be separated from Hamas.
Royal revelations. The Duchess of York is facing fresh scrutiny after leaked emails have revealed that she privately described Jeffrey Epstein as her steadfast, generous and supreme friend.
RAF Typhoon jets joined the NATO air defence mission following Russian incursions into European airspace.
Thousands will gather in Arizona today for Charlie Kirk's memorial, with President Trump, Vice President Vance, and top US officials set to be in attendance.
King Charles it's a lovely video we'll show you, meeting the world's oldest person.
Well, it's tango time time. I don't know if that is a tango actually, but it's a dance anyway, as stars and would-be stars hit the dance floor for the latest series of Strictly Come Dancing. We'll tell you all about what the first night was like later this morning.
A very good morning. Manchester United have lift-off after beating Chelsea in torrential rain at Old Trafford. Elsewhere in the Premier League, pressure is building on West Ham manager Graham Potter, and at the World Athletics Championships, Team GB's Katarina Johnson-Thompson shares bronze in the heptathlon.
You kept awake by the wind and the rain last night? Well, dry weather is on the way. I'll have all the details coming up.
It's just on 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Anne Diamond, and this is GB News Breakfast. On this Saturday night, all eyes on Disney.
This is North Korea type crap that they're doing.
The American media giant's decision to yank Jimmy Kimmel sparks calls for a boycott, with a Canadian Disney star leading the charge. Aerial attack.
It was a very clear provocation.
Russia's deadly missile and drone rampage. Signs of an emboldened Vladimir Putin.
Could be big trouble.
Military maneuvers. The war games taking place to strategize in the event of an attack or major disruption. And paying tribute to a Canadian World War II hero.
He had a flame inside of him that just wanted peace.
The honor bestowed on a one-eyed infantryman credited with liberating a Dutch city.
Global National reporting tonight.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Jimmy Kimmel's future at ABC remains uncertain tonight as negotiations reportedly continue with parent company Disney over whether his late-night show will return. The network pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air after his monologue about the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, a move sparking protests, celebrity boycotts, and accusations of government pressure on free speech. Now, even some notable Republicans are criticizing the threat to network broadcast licenses. Candace Cole has tonight's top story.
Protests continue outside Disney following Wednesday's indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live after the comedian and late-night host made these comments regarding conservative activist Charlie Kirk's alleged killer.
Hit some real lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
Now, Canada's Tatiana Maslany, star of Marvel's She-Hulk Attorney-at-Law, which airs on Disney Plus, is calling for people to drop their subscriptions to the streaming service in protest over Kimmel's suspension, with many others following suit.
Jimmy pushes boundaries. All the late night hosts do because it's their job.
Comedian Kathy
Kamala Harris, Michael Strahan exclusive, Tuesday on ABC's Good Morning America.
I'm Lindsay Davis here at the Vatican, where for the first time in history, an American has become Pope. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for streaming with us. I'm Rena Roy, and welcome to ABC News Live Weekend. Let's take a look at your top headlines. Officials formally charged suspect Tyler Robinson with shooting and killing Charlie Kirk. Robinson faces multiple charges, including aggravated murder, and prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty. Kirk was killed on September 10th while speaking at a campus event at Utah Valley University. Costco is voluntarily recalling Prosecco bottles over concerns that they could spontaneously shatter. The company says the bottles of Kirkland Signature Prosecco were sold in 12 states between April and August and could shatter even if they're not handled or used. Costco says customers with these bottles should not return them and should wrap them in paper towels and put them in a plastic bag when disposing of them. Two companies racing to put out the first approved daily weight loss pill, releasing new clinical trial data. Eli Lilly, the company behind Mounjaro and Zepbound, says its GLP-1 pill led to just over 11% weight loss over 72 weeks. Meanwhile, Novo Nordisk, the maker of Ozempic and Wegovy, says its pill led to just over 13% weight loss over 64 weeks. Both companies are seeking FDA approval and say their pills could be available next year. Turning now to our top story, medical professionals and lawmakers came together in Washington, D.C. this week to advocate for more funding for women's health research. They were joined by two award-winning actresses, Lupita Nyong'o and Mandy Moore. ABC News Live Prime anchor Lindsay Davis spoke exclusively to the women about why they're taking their fight for
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans.
New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez there, smearing Charlie Kirk on the House floor, just after the chamber voted to honor his life and legacy. While the resolution overwhelmingly passed, 58 Democrats voted against it, including AOC. She argued the measure was introduced for partisan reasons. President Trump said it was a recognition of Kirk's life and a condemnation of political violence.
Just today, the House Democrats voted against condemning the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. Who can vote against condemning all this, saying, please condemn the assassination of a human being? And they said, no, then we're not going to do that.
Do you like to drive? Do you want to earn money for it? Yango Pro is just what you need. Quick start. Download Yango Pro and get registered quickly. You'll receive payment for cash orders on the first day of work. We find riders for you. We send you nearby orders automatically and suggest places with more requests for trips. Our algorithms help you to reduce dead mileage and fuel consumption. Map showing high-paying orders. Yango Pro shows you where the most orders are in the city in real time. Trips starting in these purple zones earn you more than usual. Easy to control your earnings. Yango Pro shows the price of each trip, your current account balance, and how much you've earned today. Bonus system. Bonus payments are available on top of your regular earnings. Work at your own pace. Yango Pro offers orders non-stop. Driving every day or just part-time, you can follow a chain of orders and take a break when you need it.
Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw joins me now. Congressman, it's good of you to be with us today. What do you say to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, your fellow member of Congress, regarding her remarks on Charlie Kirk?
You know, how hard is it to be against political assassinations? Why is that so hard? It's not hard for me. I mean, if the same happened to a Democrat activist, it would be easy for me to be against political assassinations and to have some kind of respect for someone who never advocated for violence. Okay, so did he advocate for things that she disagrees with? Yes. Now, is she twisting his words? Is she taking his comments out of context and forgetting about all the nuance? Of course she is. Charlie was a very smart guy. He was an intellectual, and that's something I'll keep saying because I want his kids.
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans.
New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez there, smearing Charlie Kirk on the House floor, just after the chamber voted to honor his life and legacy. While the resolution overwhelmingly passed, 58 Democrats voted against it, including AOC. She argued the measure was introduced for partisan reasons. President Trump said it was a recognition of Kirk's life and a condemnation of political violence.
Just today, the House Democrats voted against condemning the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. Who could vote against condemning all this, saying, please condemn the assassination of a human being? And they said, no, then we're not going to do that.
Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw joins me now. Congressman, it's good of you to be with us today. What do you say to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, your fellow member of Congress, regarding her remarks on Charlie Kirk?
How hard is it to be against political assassinations? Why is that so hard? It's not hard for me. I mean, if the same happened to a Democrat activist, it would be easy for me to be against political assassinations and to have some kind of respect for someone who never advocated for violence. Okay, so did he advocate for things that she disagrees with? Yes. Now, is she twisting his words? Is she taking his comments out of context and forgetting about all the nuance? Of course she is. Charlie was a very smart guy. He was an intellectual, and that's something I'll keep saying because I want his kids, who are very young, 1 and 4, but I want them to be able to look back on a lot of these interviews and a lot of these statements and really know who their dad was. Their dad was somebody who was very thoughtful. He wasn't against civil rights, as she claims. He wasn't against any rights for black, white, whoever, women. It doesn't, he was very much an advocate that rights should be applied blindly as our founders intended. He was a student of conservative philosophy. He was a student of Christian philosophy and theology, and one of the best out there, one of the most impressive out there. The reality is she's not. Of course she's not a student of conservative philosophy. She's not even a student of her own Marxist philosophy. Charlie probably knew it better than she did. And again, forget all that. This is really simple. Somebody was assassinated for trying to speak, for trying to debate. Because, Trump.
It's 10 o'clock. This is Sky News at 10. Our top story. Long delays at airports across Europe as check-in and boarding systems are hit by a cyber attack. Fighter jets fly their first NATO defence mission over Poland as Moscow denies violating Estonian airspace. The Home Office reveals that more than 1,000 migrants crossed the Channel to the UK yesterday. It comes as the Lib Dem leader marches into his party conference with a pledge to tackle migration. And England are through to the final of the Women's Rugby World Cup. Thus, we'll take a first look at tomorrow's front pages in our press preview from 10:30.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.